Hey guys, Trey here. We're with Paducah Home Theater in their warehouse today. Cory's going to come in and join us in a minute. We're going to take a tour around the warehouse and see how much product they actually have in stock and get him to explain us how they're actually capable of responding with the customer service that they do. So what all do you have in here other than clips? It looks like every product line that you carry, you've got a little bit of something.
Well, obviously we try to start with clips, but then we've been trying to branch it off into, products that are complementary. So as you go down through here, you'll see, Marantz, Denham, a bunch of NAD equipment, NAD, that is. Of course, we're one of Parasound's larger dealers, so you'll see a bunch of Halo gear all over the place.
Who wants to buy this A31 today?
The good part about Parasound is that you can see through and see the second box. I mean, these are just boxed like a tank. I mean, just all kinds of squishy foam, but both boxes are just super strong.
So I see you got a lot of SVS stuff here. You must be a pretty big SVS dealer, right?
Oh, sure. SVS has been very good to us. A huge fan of their subs, but also, you can see all their wires. I mean, we go through so many wires. This is just a really good, no-nonsense wire. It's, we do carry Audio Quest, but if you just want an absolute no-nonsense, affordable wire that's got a nice braiding that just works, I mean, these are perfect.
Nice cable. Their boxing looks nice. I've seen the products in person and listened to them a little bit. It's good product.
Yeah, so here you'll see, part of the SVS. On the other side, we'll get to it in a minute. There's just all kinds of stuff.
As a Clips employee, I respect those people. Their brand and all the brands that we compete against. We try to respect them as they do us. It's just a good thing to do in the industry. But there's not much you can say bad about them. They make good product.
So just going down through here, if you see some of the red labels, those are actually the B stock products. So I'm starting to run low on those. Wish I had more, but yeah, we do have some architectural models that are V stock. Then of course, these power nodes and the Node 2 UIs. We send out a ton of those.
That's the Blue Sound power node. Yeah. That's the streaming device, correct?
Yeah.
I don't know that much about that stuff. So I see you even have some cinema products up there, the VBATs.
Of course. Those things are huge. And then, of course, here's the Cyrus. My friend Steve Jane, he's the new North American distributor. Just really popular over in England. Basically, they're half width. But I like to use them on the Jubilees just because you saw last night. I mean, you don't have to mess with the gain. It's just super silent. There's no noise coming out of these. And they even make a external power supply. So if you wanted to clean it up even more, you can pair their amp with their power supply, and it's as clean as you're going to get. So.
Little outdoor product, Marantz.
So yeah, here's all the the AW650s. Those are by far the most popular that we have. In springtime, we can't keep those things in stock. It's kind of dead in the wintertime, but...
Well, now's the time to start ordering, because...
Super popular AW650s. So I know you guys like the CP6s, but...
Well, I do like the CP6 simply because of its form factor and its fit and finish. It's a little more elegant in my opinion, than the AW. But let's face it, the bigger cabinet's going to give you bigger sound. So... you give up form factor for output a little bit. The sound quality, both are nice.
And every now and then you'll see guitar stuff like this Marshall acoustic amp. So basically we're trying, obviously you'll see it at the showroom, we're trying to expand into guitar stuff. So it's really popular Marshall right there. Most of the stuff's going to go straight to the showroom. As with clips or everything else, basically all of the guitar equipment is just super back ordered. I mean, you can order something, you may not see it for months at this point. So we're trying to stock up on what we can. But.
So because of all the problems that the country's having with shipping and and moving things in and out of the country from other places, stock levels for everybody have been a problem.
Oh yeah.
I know, especially in the receiver industry, and that fire in Japan took out that chip manufacturer over there, and it just stopped all the receiver manufacturing.
It goes well beyond that. Well, you see these Zilicas right here. These are the crossovers that we use for the Jubilees, and you know, those were affected by that same fire. So
Oh, really?
Luckily, they had a bunch of stock, but yeah, I won't get into exact products, but there are products that are being re-engineered right now just because they can't get that chipset anymore. So yeah, that fire really messed up a lot of stuff.
So you got stands too. Isn't this the stand we used earlier in one of our videos?
The Stylum 3 is super popular. You saw Jason put together a set in the 600M video. You'll also see several at the shop. I use these spider racks throughout the shop. Just really thick glass, much thicker than, I think it's like 15 millimeter glass. Just super beefy. It's got the isolation system on it. I've got probably 4 or 5 of them in the shop. But the biggest concern with these stands, like these bookshelves, are will they tip over? Everybody has these delusions where they're just going to fall over just super easily. So I actually took a video, just took my fist and just started bashing the side of a 600M on one of those. Yeah, God, it takes a lot. You actually have to push it. You can't just slap it and expect it to fall over.
In the engineering lab, when Klipsch test towers and things like that, they actually have a wedge that is a 15-degree slope. And they put that speaker on a 15-degree slope and then measure how much pressure it takes to make it tip on that slope. So that's why the outrigger feet are on the Klipsch like they are, is to keep them from tipping on that 15-degree slope. Last thing you want is a kid or a dog run into a speaker and it fall over and hit somebody.
Of course.
So, and we don't, I mean, even if it didn't hurt the speaker, we don't want to hurt somebody. So, you know, being conscious of that as engineering and as a retailer, that's a good thing.
Sure. So Norstone is actually, I'm pretty sure they're a French company, but Parasound, you know, they're actually the North American distributors now, and they've got the same, you know, small business, I don't know what the word is, but they basically just listen to everybody. Just as one example, we had some people, you know, trying to use banana cables, I mean, cables with banana plugs like those SVS over there. They were trying to route them up through the middle. Well, it would have worked except the hole on the top wasn't quite big enough. So we just
to allow the connector.
Yeah, we just gave them some feedback, and lo and behold, they re-engineered the whole product. And you know, the ones going forward should have the bigger holes that allow those plugs to get in there. There was like 10 or 12 of these lined up, but yeah, as far as I'm aware, we're the only dealer that has a total turnkey solution where, you know, we have a approved settings on a DSP. We can ship you the whole thing, and you know, you don't have to be an engineer to get them work, you know, to get them going. It's much simpler than most people envision. So
you had that many of them sitting here. You must have sold several in the recent.
Oh yeah.
I know you've got 3 at the office, at the shop or the showroom.
Yeah, some of them went to me, and then of course, you know,
the others went out to customers.
Yeah, I got a guy that works with me. He wanted a 3rd one, so we split a pair. And
so with these setting here, we're planning on doing a video later of the Jubilee unboxing and then setup, and then following that, we're going to do a listening evaluation between the Jubilee and the K-Horn.
From unboxing to hooking it up to listening to it, and you know, eventually we'll get into the history and everything else.
Show how easy you guys got it set up as a quasi-professional system. You've made it as turnkey as you can.
Right.
You've got a lot of big 16s and 300s or 3000 SVS subs. So you have a tremendous number of SVS subs. They must like you a lot.
Yeah, we're doing
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I count 16 pallets of SVS subs just in this general vicinity.
Customer service with SVS is just, I mean, it's just amazing, really. Especially if something goes bad, I mean, they'll just handle the whole transaction. It's just a dream, really. But biggest thing I like with their subs is that they're just super accurate. Some of these other subs, I mean, they're great and they got a lot of output for the money, especially they look great. But you know, SVS just measures really well, just really accurate. So we're a fan of them because of that. So yeah, here's some of the bookshelves and some of the smaller
600 M's and
500 C's.
500 C's.
We try to separate these by like walnut versus ebony.
I was curious. I was going to say, why are they all separated? But you do it by veneer to make it easier to pull.
I'm not always here. There's other people working, so it's that was a challenge at first, just trying to get everybody to realize that there's different colors, and you know, 500 versus 600 is actually a big deal. So one little digit is, and you'll get something totally different. But hardly the warehouse guys are just awesome. So it's just hardly any mistakes, to be honest. And these are actually, these Jubilees right here were personally owned by Roy. So these
those are his?
Yeah, they don't even have a serial number on them. So that's actually the very first pair of Jubilees made of the new style. So this was probably 2009. They kind of revamped them. So you can tell the difference in the base bin, just the number of shells and the spacing. The previous ones look a little different. That's actually the first pair of 402 horns in the new style too. So basically, and we'll probably ought to touch on this on the history of the Jubilee. So basically, I get them mixed up, but I'm pretty sure that the first ones were actually compression molded, and I don't know what changed. I don't know if they're just you know, too expensive to make. I don't know if the a cast got damaged or what, but at some point they switched it over to injection molding. So that's the very first pair of 402 horns that were made by injection molding. So this is the bad side of the shipping industry. So every now and then they'll just totally destroy a set of speakers, or at the minimum it'll look bad. I've got a couple of RF7s back here that
You have to hang on. Oh, is that the one that the fork went through?
I forgot to send these back, to be honest. But yeah, forklift actually went right through the thing. So you can see that at the bottom. They just totally stabbed it. So it doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. It's kind of annoying.
So you have to work through your shipper to get that
covered. I mean, the ideal situation would be that we just make an insurance claim, but the shipping insurance is just super expensive, first of all, but second of all, like freight companies, a lot of times they'll fight you over it. I'm like, you stabbed my speaker with a forklift. Like, what's there to argue? But they don't want to pay it. We've had totally destroyed expensive speakers that they offered like $20. It's just insulting. So.
That's when the lawyer gets involved.
Yeah.
So on this side, you have a tremendous area of palleted product as well. So is this new stock come in recently? Has it not been put up, or is this just where you store that stuff?
This is all game. This is all shipping. So obviously we just have rows of these core malls. So typically we put the old ones on the back, so it's first in, first out. So these ones on the front are the ones that have been here the longest. Just
rotate stock like a grocery store.
Oh yeah, just super easy to grab.
And again, you separate them out in color. Are you expecting a little bit of in-ceiling work in the near future?
We send out so many speakers for Atmos. It doesn't sound like it adds up, and when people are ordering 4 at a time.
When you do 4 at a time, it doesn't take many to go through a pallet.
And every now and then somebody wants to do distributed audio, so they'll call us up and be like, "Can you send us 30. Well, sure. So, yeah, at this point,
That's an expensive speaker to distribute audio with.
we're just ordering stuff by the pallet at this point. So, yeah, you can see my pile of RC64s. We try to keep tons of those around. At one time, yeah, in the summer, people were buying so much stuff. We were stocking like 40 of each color. It was nuts.
40 of each color?
Of the RC64, and they moved. So,
Wow. They're pairing that 64 with a lot of other products besides just the RF7, aren't they? Just because of the capability of it?
well, sometimes, but a lot of times, when people want to upgrade, they'll be like, well, I want RF73s, I want RC64s. I've got entry-level reference. I can't afford it all at the same time. So let's start with the center, and then here in a few months, I'll get the 7. So that happens a lot.
That's a very good plan, in my opinion, because 75% of your auditory comes from your center channel. Sure. And if you're going to upgrade your system, the quickest way to upgrade the intelligibility is upgrade that center.
Right. Yeah, it's if it was up to me, I would. Well, I won't say if it was up to me. I prefer to send them out on a pallet with the 7s just because it's so much safer.
I heard one time that when something goes through mass shipping like that, it gets hit more than 10 times with over 250 pounds of force each time. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've seen some of the boxes come through mass shipping, and I would believe that. I used to work at a small engine wholesale, and they were able to bend chainsaw bars. Now, so if you can bend a 1/4-inch thick piece of steel on your shipping conveyor, those poor cardboard boxes aren't going to handle it very well.
So yeah, here you can see some of the heresies. We were kind of afraid that the new ones wouldn't move very well, but just because of the price list. Historically speaking, heresy has always been the poor man's heritage.
Right.
So if you want heritage but you can't afford Cornwalls, then you just get heresy and you grin about it. And these are freaking amazing. So I actually went to I guess it was Rocky Mountain Audio Fest, and saw Roy there, and this is when he first unveiled them, and they were playing Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I knew what a Heresy 3 sounded like. I mean, it's kind of cool, and if you twist the bass knob, they can bump a little bit, but he played Stevie Ray, and they were playing an open E on a 4-string bass, and I was like, what?
Heresy's
heresy?
Hitting 41.2 hertz?
I turned around, like Roy already knew what was going through my head. I turned around, and Roy was sitting there just like, he was doing this number. So, yeah.
I know the look you're talking about.
he was super proud of him, and I can't blame him. But yeah, they're just really, really popular still, even with the pricing.
Well, like the history of the Heresy, this thing started out as a center channel and wasn't intended to have bass.
Sure.
Not at all. As a matter of fact, it was EQ'd out. And up until they made them stereo pairs, they really didn't change the crossover networks to make them work well like that. Sure. So, having bass in the Heresy is something that Paul really didn't care about for most of his life working with the Heresy, because it wasn't its original use.
Right. So yeah, we go through. I wish I had a better, cheaper solution, but yeah, we go through so many pallets. There's no
a better, cheaper solution. That's a nice pallet. I know it's silly, but I mean that's a well-constructed pallet. A lot of the crap.
They're nice. It's just
They're expensive.
Pallet bill.
They're expensive. You know why the guys run around in trucks gathering those old pallets up now?
Oh, for sure.
So we talked about these in one of the questions as surrounds and the topper speakers as well. So you guys sell a lot of those reflective Atmos?
We do, and at first they were primarily upfiring use, but as time has went on, especially with the switch that they have on the back, they've really caught on for surround use.
For the height and surrounds?
Yeah, and I think Jay, what's his name?
Jay Lawyer?
Yeah, I think he was behind the design, so he started pushing that, and people just caught on. So yeah, they're just super, they're tiny. So a lot of these theater rooms that people have are just, they're pretty small, and you're right beside the wall on the outside seat of the couch. So these are just super easy. I mean, hang there. It doesn't take up hardly any space. They're affordable. Just super popular. The only thing I don't necessarily like about these is they tend to encourage people to get the 8000S and then add these on top as an easy path to upgrade. The only problem is that once you do that, at least in my opinion, the end result isn't quite as good as the 8060 FA, which is, of course, inset. The drivers are surrounded by foam. So with these, you can localize them a little more. So I guess my only suggestion or advice is that if that is the end result, I would save up and try to get the 8060 FA. I think it's just a better solution.
If your choice is going to be to bounce that top surround,
right,
then having it built into the cabinet is the better way to do it.
Right.
The great thing about this is it allows you to take an older cabinet and create a Atmos bounce. And one of the questions in our Q&A was, does that bounce work? It works very well if you have the right application.
Sure.
In a vaulted ceiling, it works, but it points it in the wrong direction. It still bounces, it just bounces. It's like shooting that cue ball the wrong direction, right? And unlike cue balls, it can't hit two surfaces and get to you and still be intelligible most of the time. Are these just come in shipped, ready to go out? You got a full Heresy theater happening, or is that incoming?
I'm pretty sure that's incoming. Of course, Steven works for me, and he's selling stuff, and I just trust him. And there's no telling what he's got going on. But, yeah, most likely that just came in from Hope like that. So these distressed oak Fortes have just been super popular. You would think that different products could use that same finish and be just as popular, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Like, I hardly sell any of the Heresy in the distressed oak, but Forte distressed oak, I can't really keep them in stock.
I wonder if it's a form factor.
It's sure something like that, I'm sure. They actually tried it with the Cornwalls. So if you go back at the shop, the Cornwalls that are there, that's supposedly the only production pair of distressed oak Cornwalls that they ever made. I heard that basically the Cornwall grill is so big that the lamb's wool didn't work well with that.
It's hard to get it stretched and work.
Distortion and stuff. So, but yeah, Forte's distressed oak, just absolute knockout, home run. So.
I noticed you have some in the showroom out on the floor.
Yeah.
So somebody calls in and orders something up from you or Steve or Mark, then you have the guys put together an order, they get it ready to go out and throw it on a shipping truck. What kind of turnaround time do you guys usually pull when somebody places an order? I mean, what's
usually same day shipping?
Same day?
Theoretically,
if they call early enough in the day, you can get it out that day.
Theoretically, we have a 2 p.m. cutoff, and so anything prior to about 1:30 or before, it's usually same day.
1:30, 2 o'clock Central Time. If you can get the order in by then,
especially if it's UPS, and if it's a pallet, it's a different. So basically, everything gets compiled right here. It gets set on this guy. So when I first started, I'm not sure if we have any around here, but you can get these big, plastic wraps at Office Depot.
Oh, the saran wrap stuff?
Yeah, so that's how
the hand wrap?
Yeah, I did it all hand.
I can't tell you how many times I've almost passed out dizzy going around in circles.
To the pallet and just running circles around it, and I got calluses, and it was bad. So this guy, you put it on here and you press a button. You gotta baby it a little bit, but
that's a professional wrap machine. Jason, you want to stand in the center and we'll push the button?
Kind of.
Kind of. I knew you wanted.
We try to use this black wrap just for,
to be different.
Well, you can see the end result, like over here. You can't when this comes into the warehouse, like you can't tell what's going on.
The good thing about the black wrap is you can't tell what you're shipping, so the people don't know they want to steal it.
So yeah, you could figure it out, but your average guy at the shipping hubs, like,
They don't take the time or care.
Yeah, so.
All right, so we finished walking around the warehouse and seeing the products that you have in stock. That kind of wraps it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like to the channel. And I'm Trey. This is Cory, and thanks for hanging out with PHT TV. All right, look at this. Hey guys, it's Trey, and we're here at the Paducah Home Theater warehouse. And it's snowing outside. And it's chilly, so we've got jackets on. But